All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time for us to move on the show. And let me start off by introducing to you those with me on the program right now, this segment of the show. And of course, I'd like to introduce Ayo Ademokoya, sports historian. We're happy to have you on Sports Tonight. Ayo.
I'm very happy to have you to be on your show.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. And of course, I don't know whether I should introduce this man because it doesn't need too much of an introduction. Oye Wuchiwanchukwu is also with us on the show tonight. Guys, good to have you on Sports Tonight this Friday. Ayo, before I come to you, let's just let me get your opinion around the league, domestic football, the Premier League, the Nationwide League, domestic football in Nigeria, the Federation Cup this year. What can you say about the attitude, the organization, the followership, the awareness, and the quality of the football this year, domestic football in Nigeria?
Well, I must confess to you that the league management company is doing a very good job. And I must tell you that the National League, headed by Emeka Nyamatu, they are really, really trying. And I think last week I met Alaji Kawu, the
Nationwide League.
And we were together last week. And it's really because he just brought in a sponsor. So for someone to have attracted such a huge sponsorship, I feel they are really doing good. Having said that, I think there are about 167 football clubs at the nationwide grassroots. And for them to even get sponsors before the National League, I think it's good. Once or twice we've met watching MFM versus First Bank at Agege. You can see the quality of what they are doing. In fact, the promotion was not towards the last 4 matches last season between MFM, First Bank, Gabros. You don't know who is
coming, who is not coming.
To show you how competitive it was last season. So I must give. Then with Alaji Amalam Sheudiko, the various innovation, the encouragement, he's trying to bring in sponsorship and the awareness. You can see a lot of youths now following, and then people can go away now and beat 3SC beat Atland. Atland came to Ibadan and beat 3SC. I mean, this is wonderful. I think well before.
Let's talk about what you have.
Lawrence Apopola and Chief Taiwo Ogunjobi, one of the big matches.
Ayo, I mean, we're going to be seeing a lot of these old pictures that you've been able to document and put in a book that you've written about 3SC of Ibadan. 3SC has a lot of history around it, and this is another one.
This is the Nigerian Olympic team to Tokyo Olympic in 1959. We're talking about the Jofa Emis, what they did in the 60s, to show that we really had a league in the 60s. I mean, it was a competitive league, and home-based layouts representing Nigeria, they did so well. These are the set of the Jofa Emi in the 60s, 1959.
And carefully watch out for this one.
Look at Chief Adegboye.
Yeah, the pictures are coming out slowly and gradually, but you will get the whole thing. That man sitting there in the middle with the traditional, I mean, this is not an official sportswear.
No, he was a referee. Do you know that Chief Adegboye there was a referee?
Yeah.
He started as a referee and he was
a football coach, a referee.
A referee. That was 1971 at Ijebu-Ode. Beside him is our Papa Ashaolu. You can see Taiwo Ogunjobi. When you come to the Liberty Stadium in those days, you know, you come out from the tunnel.
From the tunnel. You know, even the National Stadium.
No, you come out and you know the euphoria as a player. Though if the pictures could come out well,
I'm sure the pictures will be coming out.
With Stephen Keshi at that time. So we once had a league. We once had a league where we had 120 people at the National Stadium and 80,000 inside. 120. You know, when football was football in Nigeria, you watch Challenge Cup at the National Stadium for hours. You cannot, that Ikorodu Road, you can't move. The same thing at Liberty Stadium. The same thing at Ahmadu Bello Stadium.
But we're going to talk more about that, Ayo. But let me start by asking, how were you able to get some of these pictures that we just showed just now, pictures of the past? Because there was an argument a few days ago. We talked about Samuel Oparaji, Kaode Tijani was there. He was able to get us some of the pictures of Samuel Okparaji. He got us the goal he scored at the 1988 Nations Cup against Cameroon. That goal, one of the earliest, one of the quickest Nations Cup goals. Kayode was able to get us some of those things. But the problem is, that game, played August 12th, where Okparaji slumped and died, nobody can get any of those pictures anymore. Some of those games that had a lot of history around them, 1980, when we won the Nations Cup, nobody can see those videos anymore. You have done a good job. Pictures will last for a long time. Yeah. And I'm sure these pictures are there. Nobody can take them. How did you get those pictures? And how can we begin to now get this culture of documenting history, keeping history, so that those who are coming behind can appreciate some of the things that we are seeing now?
You know, as an African man, I would not want to let out how I'm getting this thing, because
it's in an African way.
An African man does not give out his dossier or whatever. But I would just say, it's just God. When you are called to do something, it's just, it has.
And you have a passion for something.
And you have that passion. You just don't know how it comes about. Some of us are very painstaking, very meticulous, and most of the journalists today are not detailed enough. You don't pay attention to details, and you find it during commentary. That's why you don't have very good commentators. But when you are detailed enough, you are conscious of what is happening, you look for facts, and one way or the other, you get it. Some you have to pay to get them. Somebody somewhere you thought is nobody, we just say, and you know, when you don't underrate people, there are sometimes we just be talking to ordinary gate man, an old man, and you are discussing, and it tells you, Ayo, I have this picture in my house, and you feel, Baba, can you? And you find it, and it's invaluable, and you just pay, and so it's just a lot. But I can't really say this is how it comes about when God is leading you.
You've put together a book on 3SC of Ibadan. What's the motivation behind writing that? What special things do you want? Have you put in your book relating to 3SC? Well, and then what link between the 3SC that you wrote about and the 3SC that we have right now?
No, we can't compare football of now. We can't compare Nigeria of today to Nigeria of then in all ramifications of life. We can't talk of the banking industry of then. So I don't want to be our TV of now. Everything must have gone down. It's different. Likewise, football. So how did I start? I think it was just like I was interviewing somebody. You know, I was on TV in Ibadan then. I was interviewing, and I just found out that they just fired me, and they were telling me so many things, and I felt, look, we need to document.
These things should not die with these old men.
It shouldn't die with these old men. And having been to the UK the other time, you go to Heathrow Airport, you go to Gatwick, you see Michael Owen's book, you see David Beckham, you go to Manchester United clubhouse, you feel you are in a clubhouse. But when you go to clubhouses in Nigeria, hardly will you find
any form of documentation.
You won't even know that this is a clubhouse. No memorabilia, no souvenir, nothing to show for it. So you feel, if we don't do it, most of us, we complain as journalists. We say we don't have records. We don't have records. Are you saying that Megari or Galadima or Pinnick will leave his administrative job to be documenting history? We as journalists are professionals. We should be providing records. Look, let me tell you something. There was one politician now left Nigeria. He wasn't convicted in Nigeria, went abroad. They got records of everything he was doing. And the person is right there in UK prison. So records must be done in order to refer to the past, know where we are, and know where we are going to. And that is why we don't have so many people following our clubs. Now we are talking about Dangote trying to buy one football club. But why won't he buy it? Because he was able to determine the followership of that club, the mileage
goes to help him make up his mind.
The mileage that the followers will give him. You know, everybody, if you're a businessman, you put your money down on something, a platform that will give your product a mileage. Now, so many people don't know that clubs like Shooting Stars has fans all over the world. In Egypt, in Côte d'Ivoire, in England. Even I've had so many people asking for this book abroad than in Nigeria.
The book is written on 3SC.
Yes, the book on 3SC. And I have been able to determine like 8 million fans of Shooting Stars. Now, if I'm selling for like 5,000 or 10,000 naira and I reach 1 million, that is called 5 billion naira. Clubs were not able to even look at the economic aspect of, you know, getting this thing done. So, number one, we must have record because the labors of our heroes past should never be in vain. So many people made this league thick. Look, if we are talking about the 60s, we'll talk about the Rafiu Boade Kundi, I'm talking about whatever. You still talk about Thunder Balogun. You talk about Chief Awolowo. Do you know that Chief Awolowo was a sport-loving person? For somebody to wake up in 1958 and say, let us build a stadium to mark our freedom. They started 1958, completed in 2 years, 40,000 capacity.
That's the Liberty Stadium?
That was Liberty Stadium. And that Liberty Stadium was built to host the first Olympics as far back as 1958 for a good 1 week. Do you know that?
The first Olympics or the first Africa Games?
First Olympics.
Oh, we wanted to host
wanted to host as far back as in the 50s. Many people.
And no African city.
No. And you know that Liberty
has been able to host the Olympics.
You know that Liberty Stadium was the second place in the whole world where the floodlight
game
was
played under floodlight.
Next to England. Do you want to? And you go there now. Do you know if you watch football at the Liberty Stadium in those days, when my father would take me around 7 o'clock, you see the floodlight. Are these floodlights still functioning? If anybody is to put on floodlight today, will it not give
power? No power to power the floodlight.
No. And then when you come to the from 60s, you come to the 70s, you are talking about Segun Odegbami, you are talking about Mudalawa, Felix Olabi. Now you are talking about Okparaji there. Some people don't even know.
And no records to show.
Not to start talking about. And what pains me most was I remember while I was talking to this man, Josie Ladd.
Late Josie
Ladd. When he was the chairman, and I was trying to document what he has done. You know, when as journalists, when you come and you are talking to people, they feel, oh, you have come to collect money and whatever. But once you are credible enough, I was just documenting it. I did not know that Josie Ladd is going to be sick 2-3 years after. Do you know that I alone had the documentation of what Josie Ladd did? People did not know who Josie Ladd was. And that was how I was able to attract millions of naira for Josie Ladd before, and we were able to
when it was
down. Because the Sun newspaper where I was writing for, and I still write for, and Soccer Star, we have exclusive details about what Josie Ladd has done. So I want to take it upon footballers. Look, in the next 10-20 years, somebody somewhere may not know who Kanu Nwankwo is.